What's up guys, shinyhunterzach here, back with another TCG opening. This isn't a pack opening video, but it is an opening. I found this new product at Target, and this is a great new product for beginning players and even some experienced players depending on what cards you need. So this is the Xerneas vs. Yveltal Battle Arena Decks. So as you can see here, you get two decks. You get one with Xerneas as the featured card, and these are holos on the front here. And one with Yveltal as the featured card. So I really like the artwork on this Yveltal, and the Xerneas is pretty cool as well. These are promos. This one is XY31, and this is XY32. And here is what all comes in the deck. They each have a deck list on the side, so there's the description. You can pause and read that. Here is the Xerneas deck list. You can pause and kind of look over this part if you want to see what all is in it, and I'll be showing it off as well. And then here's the Yveltal one. I like the Yveltal one a lot because it comes with stuff like 2 Muscle Band, which are a very expensive card, 2 Professor Sycamore, Professor's Letter, Ultra Ball, Foil Darkness Energy, which is huge, and then the Xerneas one comes with Foil Fairy Energy, which is the very first Foil Fairy Energy we've ever gotten. So I'm really excited to get some of those. I believe you get 6 each of the foil energy and then 10 of the regular ones apiece. So let me figure out the best way to open this. On top of all the cards, you get, in addition to the foil card as well, you get 2 coins, 2 coins, 2 sets of damage counters, a code card to get these decks on the online game PTCGO. 2 deck boxes, and a quick guide. So if you're a new player and have no idea what you're doing, the guide will probably help you out a bit. So I'm completely destroying this. This is what it looks like by the time I'm done with it. So I'm not really saving the art or the box or anything, so that's fine. Let's go ahead and get these out. I'll show off the promo cards first, and pick up Radicate, because Radicate seems to have fallen over. And we will show off the cards first, and then the coins and stuff, before we get into the actual decks. So here is, let's start with the Xerneas one, because that one is first in the XY promo order. There's a closer look at that Xerneas, 130 HP, which is pretty much the most you can have as a non-EX basic. Pretty much. So here are the 2 attacks, Aurora Gain and Light of Life, and then you can see down here that it is indeed XY, well, not if it doesn't focus, but you can see right there, XY31. I'll put that in the background, and then here is the Yveltal one, also 130 HP, really great artwork. Air Crash and Wings of Destruction, both of their second attacks have to do with the other. So this one says if your opponent has Xerneas or Xerneas, including Xerneas EX, it does 40 more damage on top of the 80, and then Xerneas has the same cost, except it's 2 Fairy instead of 2 Dark, and it relates to Yveltal and Yveltal EX. So here are the 2 coins you get with the 2 decks and everything. I've seen these before. This is what the Yveltal one looks like, and here is what the Xerneas one looks like. I have to say I like the Xerneas one better because it's blue. I like this nice shade of blue, and it's got the nice black border, and it is blue's my favorite color, so I like those a lot. I'll be keeping those. Let's put all this trash to the side. Here is what the damage counters look like. You get 2 sets, presumably because this is for 2 people, or for 1 person to buy and then share with a friend or something. You get, looks like 12 of these 10 damage counters, 3 of the 50s, 1 of the 100s, 1 burn marker, and 1 poison marker per page, and you get 2 pages. So that's pretty cool. I usually use dice for damage counters when I go to tournaments and stuff, and then I use the acrylic burn and poison counters that you get in stuff like the Elite Trainer boxes. But if you're just starting out, those will work more than okay. Here's what the code card looks like. It looks exactly the same as the ones in the Charizard, Venusaur, and Blastoise tins did, but obviously with a different code. Here you get a guide, a short kind of player's guide explaining to people who don't know what they're doing kind of how to play. Here's an explanation of some of the new cards that are in the decks, including Trevor, my bad, which is a supporter that says search your deck for a Pokemon, reveal it, and put it into your hand. So basically it is sort of like Pokemon Fan Club, but a bit worse. Pokemon Fan Club gets 2 Pokemon, basic Pokemon that you can put onto your bench. Trevor gets any Pokemon, not just a basic, that you can put into your hand. So it's basically a way of finding a Pokemon, but it's a supporter. So then it talks about Xerneas, and on the back it talks about Yveltal, and here is another look at the deck lists. So if you want to, this might be a better spot to pause and read the deck list if you want to. So anyway, there's one more thing in here, and that is a Giants play mat. So I'm going to put this on my desk and show this off as best I can. So here you get one side for Xerneas with your active, with spots for your active, your bench, your deck, your discard pile, and your prize cards. And then some explanations on the side about like special conditions and parts of your turn, and then it's the exact same on the other side, but with Yveltal. And then on the back here, oops, I guess I have this upside down, we have a lot of explanations. Like, it goes through what the types of Pokemon mean, the different energy cards, how to start a game, how to lay out your field, the turn actions, explanations of each of the different kinds of cards, attacks, putting damage on your Pokemon, what you do in between turns, and special conditions. That's the bulk of it. So if you don't know anything about Pokemon, and you may have just happened to stumble on this video and you've been watching up to this point, because this video is about, oh gosh, like 7 minutes long already. So this is probably something you want to pick up because it has playable cards, and you can, it's a complete 60 card deck. You get 2 of them and you can play with your friends. So let's go with the Xerneas one first, because Xerneas kind of came first in the whole box. So let's open this up. You can use this deck box for your actual deck if you build another one later. Same with the Yveltal one. And let's just go through this one card at a time, starting with another copy of this XY31 promo Xerneas. So this is also holo, very nice. Then after that you get a Carbon Holo. This was in Flashfire. I have a bunch of these. You get one of those. This is another reason to pick up this these decks. Aromatisse is a very, very playable card. Kyle Sukovich, also known as Puka, from the Top Cut, he played this at Fort Wayne, Indiana Regionals. He went undefeated until he got to the top 8. So he finished up the 14 rounds. There were 9 rounds, and then the top 32 played 5 more. He finished 9-0-5, and a lot of those ties were intentional draws so that he could get more points. And this is the main card he used in that deck for Energy Acceleration, Aromatisse. So please go and get that if you need an Aromatisse. Here's what I'm really excited for. Our first ever foil fairy energy. You get 6 of these, and here's a comparison of the foil and non-foil energy. I'm so glad we finally have foil energy, so if I want to run a fairy deck, which I might now that Puka did so well with it at the regionals, I can use those in my deck. So you get 10 of these regular energy, so that's nice if you don't have any. There's not really another way to get fairy energy other than through the Elite Trainer boxes so far, or if you just buy them online. Another great playable trainer card, Professor's Letter. Then we have Fairy Garden, which is also playable in fairy decks. You get 2 of those. A Lysander, which is incredibly playable. People play these in decks all the time now. Switch one of your opponent's bench Pokemon with his or her active Pokemon. It can be invaluable to you. Hard Charm is actually seeing increased play, especially in Yveltal decks, so you might consider getting this for that. There's 2 of these. Professor Sycamore, people run 4 of either this or Professor Juniper, which do the same thing. In their decks, discard your hand and draw 7 cards. Evo Soda is also very handy for evolving your Pokemon. There's Pokemon Center Lady, you get 2 of these. Heal 60 and remove all special conditions. You get 1 Pokemon Fan Club, which I was talking about earlier. Tierno, draw 3 cards. Then you get 2 full heal. Doesn't see much play, but still kind of a cool card. 2 energy retrieval, which actually is seeing some play in Verzion Genesect decks. I actually ran one this past weekend at the Fort Wayne Regionals. Then you get 2 Ultra Ball, very, very playable, played in almost every deck. If not every deck that's competitive. Sorry, I was taking a drink there. Trevor, which is my first Trevor card because I don't know where else you would get it. This is actually also a promo, XY33. Then you get a Furfrou, another Furfrou. I actually don't have this artwork because it came in like the XY Battle, like the original theme deck or whatever. I can't remember, but I don't have this art yet, so that's cool. Then we have Eevee. This is incredibly playable as well because of this ability. A lot of people are playing Evolution decks because it's easy to get Eevee out. You can even get Eevee out on turn 1 with its ability. Then you get 2 Sylveon. I actually have seen people play that. 1, 2, 3 of this Jigglypuff from X and Y base set. Then you get 2 of these Wigglytuff with one of the best attack names in the game, Hocus Pocus. Spritzy, which is... This is actually the preferred Spritzy that people like to use when they play Aromatisse. Another Carbink, but this one is actually non-holo, so that's pretty interesting. Mr. Mime from X and Y base set. Lots of fairy type cards, of course, 2 of those. And then this is also incredibly playable in fairy decks. Geomancy allows you to get 2 basic fairy energy cards from your deck, attach one to one of your bench Pokemon and another to another. So this is how you get out energy onto the field early in the game. If you're playing a fairy deck, you want to start with this guy, get an energy on him, and start getting energy on your field. So this is an invaluable card. It's a rare in the X and Y base set. But that is the fairy type deck. And I've explained to the best of my ability why I'm a fan of it. And now let's go on to the Yveltal deck. This is going to be a long video. I apologize. We're already almost at 12 minutes. So sorry about that. But here we have another one of these Yveltal promos, also holo. A Zoroark holo from X and Y base set. You actually get 2 of those. Foil Dark Energy, you get 6 of these. Very happy to get Foil Dark Energy. Fairy and Dark are 2 of the most played types of energy right now because of Yveltal decks being huge and because of Aromatisse decks being pretty huge. So I'm a big fan of that. And then we also have 10 regular Dark Energy. So good if you want to start playing an Yveltal, Garbodor, or any type of Yveltal deck. Sorry, I'm trying to sort these out between foil and non-foil energies. Then we have 2 more Professor's Letter. These are played as a one-of in a lot of decks. Then you have Magnetic Storm. Not very playable, but still nice to have a stadium. Lysander again. So you get 2 of these total in these 2 decks, which is really great. And 2 Muscle Band in the Yveltal deck. These are close to a $5 card, I would say, just because not too many people open up X and Y base set anymore. And then we have 2 more Professor Sycamore, so between these 2 decks you have 4. Then we have 2 red card. Your opponent, my camera's not in focus, sorry about that. Your opponent shuffles his or her hand into his or her deck and draws 4 cards, so it's good for disrupting your opponent. Cassius, shuffle one of your Pokemon and all cards attached into your deck. Another Pokemon Fan Club. Shauna, people are also starting to run a bit more. Shuffle your hand into your deck and then draw 5 cards. It keeps you from discarding cards and it refreshes your hand, although not as much as you might like sometimes. Then we have a couple of Switch. Switch is also a very valuable card that's been in Pokemon since, you know, the very, very earliest sets. So they just change the artwork, the effect stays the same, and it's a nice card to have in a lot of situations. Another Energy Retrieval, 2 more Ultra Balls, so that's 4 between these 2 decks. Another Trevor. Then you have 2 of these Inkay. 2 of these Malamar, which I absolutely love this card. When the X and Y base set first came out, I made a deck with its first attack, Mental Trash, just to completely disrupt your opponent and leave them with a hand of basically 0. And you can just set up and start running over them with other Dark-type Pokemon after you do that. Scraggy, 3 of those, and then you get 2 of this Scrafty, an uncommon from Furious Fists. My camera doesn't want to stay in focus some of the time. There's 3 Zoroark to play with those 2 Zoroark holo. Then we have 2 Skorupi and 2 of these Drapion. Not really played, but a lot of people say this artwork looks like it's a shiny Drapion. Then you have probably two of the other probably the best cards other than Muscle Band and Ultra Ball and Professor Sycamore and such in this deck, and that is Yveltal, the rare from X and Y base set. I saw this a lot at Indiana Regionals, and I mean a lot. Oblivion Wing, for just one dark, you do 30 damage, and you attach a dark energy from your discard pile to one of your benched Pokemon. It doesn't even have to be a dark type Pokemon that you attach it to. It has 130 HP, so like the Xerneas, it probably has the most HP as a basic non-EX that you can have in this format without any sort of added effects. And then Darkness Blade is also a good attack too. 2 dark and 1 colorless gets you 100 damage, and then if you flip tails, then you can't attack during your next turn, but you can get around that by switching out and then going back to the active somehow. So, that finally is the explanation of this entire set. I believe with tax, it's just over $32. So I believe it's worth it if you want to get into the game. If you don't know anything about the TCG, it will help explain things to you. It will even give you a code so that you can use this on the trading card game online. And you get foil energy, a lot of playable cards, deck boxes, damage counters, coin flip dice. There's not much more you could want for a basic starter deck, or starter series, because you get 2 decks. So that is going to do it for me finally. Thank you guys for watching. Please subscribe if you haven't already. Like and favorite the video and leave a comment below. I'm going to try and start saying this more in my videos, but I do have a Facebook and a Twitter. So follow me on Twitter at shinyhunterzach. I also have another account at SAGTCG, which tells you when my videos go live, but my account that I actually use for tweeting out and stuff is shinyhunterzach. And then shinyhunterzach is also my Facebook page, so please go and like that. I will try and update that more. I haven't been the best about that, but I'm going to try and update that more when I post videos. So that is it for me. Until next time, I will see you guys later.